Hey guys, excuse me, Kelly here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what to do or not to do when you decide that you're going to move abroad. Many of you know that I left the U.S. in 2016 permanently because, it seemed to be good for my health. So I left looking for quality and affordable health care. I left looking for doctors that were not condescending and entitled. And so I initially left, and I've been to a few different countries in that time frame. I initially left and went to Nicaragua. Then I spent a couple of years in Thailand, and now I am sitting in my dining area of my home here in Merida, Mexico. So because of me being abroad, first of all, people make a lot of assumptions about what I will do for them. There is nowhere advertised that says I'm going to do anything for you. So if you want to come down to Merida and have a cup of coffee, I can manage that. But let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to find preschools because I don't have any little people. I'm not going to find doctors. I found my own, you find yours. I'm not going to find you housing. I'm not going to find you, domestic help. I'm not doing that. There's nowhere on my channel when I share living abroad that says these are things that I do, these are services that I offer. I don't. So, now that we got that piece out of the way, if you reach out to me, I'm happy to answer some questions. I'm happy to help in some ways, but let me tell you other things I'm not willing to do. I ain't gonna find you no job either. So, first thing I would say is if you are going to move abroad, these countries are affordable. A lot of them, they're not free. So if you do not have a revenue source, stay where you are because you're still gonna have rent, you're still gonna have, internet, you're still gonna have to eat, those types of things. So I do have a guide, not a guide. I have a list of companies that I have found that will allow you to work remotely, and I will share that in the link below. Just know that that's a portion of my revenue source. So if you click on it, you will have to pay for it because I did the research, I took the time. Guess what? It ain't free. So yes, I wanted to share that. And if you want to support me and support my channel, that's one of the ways in which that you can do that is by clicking on the links that I share in my in the description and all of that good stuff. Because I'm giving you this information for free, but I still gotta eat. As skinny as I am, I still gotta eat. So anyway, so you want to make sure that you come with a revenue source. Now, here's the really cool thing about these places being as affordable as they are. You don't need to make nearly as much money in places that I've mentioned as you did in the U.S. For example, I'll put a card or whatever it is up to the video where I did my budget and the video where I showed my home. So my home, I live in a two-story, two-bedroom, 1.5 bath home in a gated community. I've got a 8 foot or 6 foot privacy wall, the whole 9 yards, and I pay $350 a month. You're definitely not going to find this anywhere, as far as I know, in the U.S. So, trying to cover rent a lot easier when it's $350 as opposed to it being $3,500. So, those types of things, yeah, it's going to be more affordable, but if you can't do 350, guess what? Stay where you are. So anyway, so that's the first thing. The other thing I would say to you is if you're going to move abroad, whatever is really important to you, do your due diligence on that. Because there are people here with children, there are people here with elderly parents, there are people here who are elderly, there are people here like me who have a chronic illness. I didn't just throw a dart at a map and then show up in Merida. Like I knew all of the hospitals. I had interviewed doctors before I got here. I had asked in different expat groups their experiences with different hospitals, if they had to stay, if they had to have surgeries, if they had to have long-term care. I asked all of those questions before I got here. So food, I didn't care about. Lodging, I figured I would figure it out. But the fact that my body averages 4 times in the hospital per year, that was important to me. So before I left the other side of the world, before I left Thailand, I'd already established some care here in Merida and had already talked to several doctors and had already gotten other people's experiences on staying in these different hospitals and found out how the medication, how if I needed a prescription and I had to see the doctor all the time, or if I could walk in the pharmacies off the streets or whatever that was. My health care is paramount for me, and so I did my due diligence on that before the plane even landed here. So make sure that you're doing your due diligence, and doing what you need to get done. The other thing is, let me see. You want to make sure that you know whether or not you need to learn that language. So, for example, in Thailand, the area that I lived in, the amount of Thai that I needed to know was not a big deal. I could get by speaking English with a few Thai courtesies and that kind of thing. Here in Merida, where I live, you can get by with just speaking English, but it's going to be a little more difficult because a lot of the native people here, they don't speak English. So you're either whipping out your translator or you are, playing charades or whatever that is. So it's good to at least learn the basics, where's the bathroom, emergency care, how do I get to the doctor, you got problem or whatever. It's good to learn those things so that, God forbid, if something does happen, you can still get some help. There was something else I was going to say while I was talking about all of that. Oh, the food, the culture, and the weather. Know what you're getting yourself into. And I'm really going to stress more, not so much the food because you can find and amend, whatever. I will say this, that in the States, at least, I can't speak about Canada or places in Europe or whatever, but in the States, if you go into a restaurant and you don't want a certain ingredient, it's easy to convey that, and they get it, they understand it, they're accustomed to it, and they make it happen. In these other countries, it's not quite like that sometimes. You confuse them when you start changing things, and then I've seen people come here and not only do they get upset that the people can't or won't accommodate them, they start losing their minds. They start screaming and hollering, acting crazy. I don't understand. No, you don't. You don't understand. So culturally, understand what you're getting into. When I was in Thailand, there were a couple of young men that were arrested because they had gone into one of the temples and had literally shown their butts. They mooned and put this stuff on social media, and their temples are insanely sacred. Like women can't go in showing their shoulders, and that kind of thing. So you have to understand and please respect the culture of where you're going. Understand proper dress codes, proper etiquette. You're not going to learn everything about a culture, but learn the basics so that you're being respectful of where you're going. So make sure you do that research before you decide to move abroad. Don't just take for granted that everybody speaks English, because they don't. And you're in their country, so for you to come with the expectation that they're going to accommodate your language, you accommodate theirs. Don't be, don't be that person. But anyway, so those are my few little pointers. And again, you guys feel free to send me a few questions. But if you can Google it, like I had somebody send me a message asking me how frequently it was raining. Do I look like the weatherman? So I don't want dumb questions. Send me thoughtful questions that maybe you can't find the answer to, that maybe because I'm on the ground I might know. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If I don't know it, I'm gonna tell you I don't know it. I'm not gonna go digging and researching and all of that. And if you want me to dig and research, I'm gonna send you a PayPal link. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, share that with you guys, and hope that it helps somebody. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do. I share a lot of different things on my channel, all broken down into playlists. But anyway, that's my deal. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.